I guess it is time. Hello, friends. Hello, 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 and welcome to a Saturday live stream. It's been a while since been a Saturday live stream. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you're all doing fancy. Um, I've streamed last night, and there was some discussions about what should we do. And yesterday we built an application on Windows 95 using Delphi, which was kind of insane. And today we want to keeping on with the retro slash vintage theme because it's always fun to do things you should no longer be doing in 2024. Um, we're going to be doing something with this whole thing, a Commodore 64. Actually, uh, that thing, this thing. So we're going to be talking about that thing in a moment. I just want to ask the chat, is my audio okay? Can you hear me okay? Of course, every time I do something, there's a lot of audio changes happening. So I want to make sure you can hear me okay and it's all doing groovy. I'm going to apologize for the whole scrolly dark band here. The fact of recording CRTs is just insane. Flexion, hey man, it's been a while. Hi, welcome to the show. Recording CRTs is never easy. So even if I switch to this thing, you will see from times there should be a little like kind of a over the screen, I think. Yeah, see, like that will happen. That was the best I could get it to work. So yeah. Um, but okay, today, as I said, it's going to be a bit different. We are not going to be building Rust. We are not going to be doing anything specifically on Linux. We are going to be touching a bit on it. Mostly, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be hosting a BBS, a bulletin board system, and we're going to be accessing that bulletin board system from this one. Now, traditionally, bulletin board systems, and I'll get to them what they were hosted on the actual physical Commodore 64s. And technically, I could do that, but I don't think I have enough floppy disks, or I don't have blank floppy disks for a Commodore 64 for that. So maybe some future stream, once we get this all figured out, we may host our own, what is it called? A BBS on this whole thing here. But quickly, what is a BBS? A BBS is something they used to call a bulletin board system. It is the internet before the internet, right? Back then, and this is, I'm gonna put this out there, it's before my time. I was born in 1988. I did not experience BBSs, but I know a lot of people who have, and I'm a big fan of them because just the way they would work. A bulletin board system was basically your computer, so your own computer, phoning in to another computer, right? And when it phones into that computer, the computer just literally answers, and it gives it this bulletin board. Think of it as like a little bulletin board you would have in your school, in your company, and whatever. And you have a bunch of messages, chats, uploads, downloads. Think of it, technically it is a website, but you have to dial into the website. So you would connect, you would read your messages, or in better cases, you would download all of your messages, download all of the bulletins, basically a forum, read them offline. If you want to post something, you type them offline, connect to the BBS, and push it back out. Flexion says my first BBS login was from a Commodore 64 with 300 baud, a BPS modem. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create a 300 BPS, a BBS here. So just so you know, that's gonna be a whole thing. And yeah, that's at least the plan for today. But we will see. I also want to say I got 2 additional follows last night, so I want to thank Pax Cube and Cantor JF. Not sure if you're on the show, but thank you for the follows. I do this strictly for the giggles and the follows, so I do appreciate that. Another update is in the past, over the last couple of weeks, no audio was present on any of my Twitch VODs. So you can hear me on the stream, but the VOD would not record the audio. I couldn't figure out what the issue is. I tried yesterday a couple of times restarting the stream just to see what it will save. Something to do with configuration here on my Streamlabs. I don't know. It just does not want to record the audio on the VOD. So I don't know. I will have to troubleshoot it, potentially on like a burner channel, just so I don't bother you all. But the update is I've actually uploaded all of the previous videos as basically highlights, And now you can see all of those things on there. So if I go to twitch.tv/rup12 or rup12, and you go to videos, there should be recent highlights and uploads. Let me actually show it to you here on the screen. So there should be a bunch of recent highlights and uploads. Uploads, there you go. Okay, so if in the uploads directory, there should be all of these videos uploaded, edited, well, not edited, uploaded with audio now. So if you open like this one, it should actually have me talking. Yes, there is me talking. Good. So people have been asking me, oh, where's the audio on these videos? Yeah, it was busted. So, but yeah, look at that, the Commodore 64. I guess it's time for us to kick it off because it has been a few minutes since we started. So I guess let's do stuff. Now I'm gonna do this based on a blog post by this wonderful gentleman named Andrew. Actually not Andrew. Adam Whitney. Adam wrote the whole thing how to do this. So this is not my invention. I was just following his deal here, and it worked on my end yesterday. I managed to get it working on a Mac. But I just want to try to do it on a Windows system plus an actual Commodore 64. So I'm going to be following this guide here. So the guide is, I'm going to paste it in the chat just for the folks out there if you want to go and give this gentleman a follow. Actually, does Adam have social media? Does Adam have social media? They have Twitter. Do they have Twitter? Oh, they do. Okay, here you go. Adam, thank you. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and work with this. Now, the way this would work is the way this is going to work. It is going to we're going to be running the BBS itself on a Commodore, on a virtual machine. Not the virtual machine, an emulator. So we're using the Vice emulator here for just running the Commodore, and we're going to be using that as the BBS server, right? It's not a server, but it's a server, right? So this is where our BBS is going to run. Then later on, we're gonna flip to this thing here. Sorry, let's do this to this thing here, the actual Commodore 64, this boy, and we're gonna be accessing this thing. Sorry, this thing through this thing. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Okay. So let's give it a shot. There's a couple of things we need to do here before we get into it. We need to download GST BBS. Now, GST BBS is a piece of software that is very old. It's a BBS server software written by two gentlemen, as far as I know, as far as I understood. It's a very, very simple, insanely simple BBS piece of software. Nothing complicated, no graphics, none of that, right? If you look at something like what's a good BBS these days? Flexion, if you're still online, what's a good BBS these days? There's something called oh my god, what is the name of the? I saw it yesterday. It's BBS Commodore 64. Right? There is somewhere. I'm sure there's a list of BBS, active Mystic BBS. Yes, Mystic BBS. But you will see a lot of, like, for example, 13th Floor has a bunch of graphics. Heaven has oh, so you don't see it here. Sorry. You see, like, Mystic 64 has, like, wonderful graphics, and Heaven, all of these things, like, look really, really cool. We're not gonna do that. At least not yet. So we're gonna keep it simple and just use a rather simple BBS. You said my BBS runs on Mystic. Now, Flexion, do you run your BBS on an actual Commodore, like on a 128 or something, or are you using it in a virtual emulated thing, or even on something else? One of the things that I've learned is that all of the Commodore 64-based BBSs have to run on a Commodore, either emulated or actual machines. So, like, there's no Linux package you can run. You can run some sort of ANSI BBS. Oh, it's a Linux VM. Interesting. So you can look. So it's a compatible BBS for a Commodore 64. That's pretty cool. Okay, that is also a really good thing to know. Okay, so let's kick it off. So I have this GST BBS, and we're gonna be using that in this system here. So to get started, I need to go ahead and create a couple of things. Hey, ByteBitten. Hey, I'm low-key following your streams, your topics of Nix, Rust, and BBS. Some things we have had podcasts on Jupiter Broadcasting. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, thank you so much. Yeah. I always appreciate a shout out. So hello to Jupiter Broadcasting. So yeah, I will try it. I will try it, Flexion. So if you give me the details, not sure if you want to do it publicly, you can do it on Mastodon, I guess we connected there or something. But yeah, we can do that. So ByteBitten, thank you so much. I appreciate it. This channel is all about Nix, Rust, Linux, old computers, and well, yesterday we did even some Windows 95 and Delphi. So yeah, okay. So we have to do a couple of things. We have to go and create and attach an empty image. So I'm going to create a new image, and we're going to use a D64. We're going to save it on, where are we going to save it? Let's do desktop, I guess. Desktop, and we're going to enter file name. We're going to call it BBS empty. We're going to attach it to disk number 8. So on a Commodore 64, you can technically attach up to 4 disks, 4 floppy disks, floppy drives. Number 8, 9, 10, and 11. So you can kind of daisy chain those things together. We will only use 2. We will only use 8 and 9 here. So on number 8, I'm going to attach a blank image. Basically, we're going to have this thing attach this to image 9. So there should be one here, BBS empty. Boom. Okay. That should be okay. If I go ahead and do list and then question mark, this and 8, not list, what? Load. Darko. Load and then list. Searching for blank. So, and now if I do list, it should see, you see, it's a disk. It's free, it's empty. Beautiful. Works. Now, okay, let's go ahead now and attach another disk. We're going to enable this drive. We're going to say it is going to be which drive type is going to be? 1541? 1541 is okay. So these are different types of disk drives. Some of them are faster, some of them are slower. 1541 should be perfectly fine. We're gonna attach a drive disk to image here. We're gonna go and it's not in desktop, it is in Darko downloads. Ooh. Where did I save it? It's downloads GST something. Page down. GST BBS. Okay. GST BBS. Boom. Okay, awesome. Now, exit. If I do load, again, the same thing. 9. So loading all the files from disk 9. Now this should give us, hopefully, something. List. Look at that. Awesome. We have GST BBS main, GST BBS edit, and GST docs. So we're going to be doing all of these things right now and configuring this system. Again, thanks to this wonderful human here called Adam Whitney. They have done this whole thing here. So if you have not checked this out, this is where I am also learning stuff from. All right. So, by the way, ByteBitten, so thank you so much for shouting out. I want to also, what is Jupiter Broadcasting? I'm not really sure. Actually, on the podcasts of Jupiter Broadcasting. So if you want, please feel to shout those things out in the chat. I appreciate it. If I can shout you out, I do have a very small reach, but a very, very, very wonderful reach. It's all the amazing humans here. So, okay, so we have 2 disks, basically 2 floppy drives in our emulation here, mounted and ready to go. The first thing you need to do here for your BBS is you have to basically run the edit program. So you see here GST BBS edit. So we're going to be running that program. This is how we're going to set up our BBS. So I'm going to do load like that, and then your GST BBS edit. and then just 9. So it's going to look for the file name GST BBS edit on disk on drive 9. And it's loading. Wonderful. So one of the things that I always I used a Commodore 64 when I was young, is if you try to load something from disk, you search its name, and then if the disk is good, you get a loading, like it just loading pops up, and that was so great. You felt so nice when you got the loading, because it means the disk at least works to an extent, so, or it exists on the disk. So that was a very positive deal. Yeah. Okay, so while this thing is loading, and the thing is, like, this is just your typical Commodore 64, and we're gonna be using typical Commodore 64 speeds. So what can you do? There we go. It has loaded, and then run. Insert the BBS data disk and press a key. Now, what it is gonna do, it is gonna look for the disk in drive A. Not A, oh my God, drive 8. So in the first drive 8, and we've created a blank disk there, right? There's nothing in it. So if I press a key, it's gonna be doing stuff. And look at this wonderful little thing. Can I make this bigger so we can all enjoy this in bigger screens like that? Look at that. Oh, yes. Okay, so there's a couple of things we need to do. We need to hit the plus sign here, plus sign, so it's gonna create the files. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna write the BBS files to the disk, right? First file, last file, and a whole lot of things. New user files. So it's gonna add all of those little things, all of those little knickknacks to the disk. That means when you execute, when your BBS runs, it's going to be using those files. Now, what was fascinating for me in the days of yore, when you ran BBSs off of Commodore 64s, and I'll be honest, most people ran BBSs off Commodore 128s. All of your uploads and downloads and bulletin boards would literally be on floppy disks. So people would daisy chain like four of those 17. What is the 3.5 inch floppy disk for Commodore 3.5 inch floppy drive for Commodore? It is the 17. Oh, I forgot. So C64 3.5 inch drive. It is the 1581. Yes, the 1581. So these ones, because they could fit a lot more data, and these were amazing for BBSs because you can basically chain 4 of these, and well, actually 3, but yeah, you would have a lot more data available to the people there. Okay, nice. Let's do, I think we need to BBS setup then this. Okay, so we're gonna configure a couple of things on our BBS, specifically the way our BBS is gonna work, and which kind of a modem type is gonna use. So because we're running this off an emulator, for this to work properly, we're gonna be using Haze compatible low, right? Okay. Let's change the password to our system, and we're gonna put it as Twitch, right? And then you have a chat message from sysop, and the days of sysops, right? Like when a system operator would just jump into your chat. Amazing. I want to change a couple of things here when it comes to calls per day. I want to give people more calls per day. And remember, this is a thing that we no longer kind of have to think about, is back then, people would literally dial in to your system, like dial through a phone. And each user, you would give them specific amount of time they can dial in throughout the day. Because remember, unless you had this complicated multi-phone, multi-computer system where the BBS would run across multiple lines, only one user at once could be connected to your BBS. So you want to make sure you limit those people to kind of like just, hey, not too much. Okay, I think that's it. We save this. We save, yep. Now all of this is running on an emulated Commodore 64. So let's go, and what did I do here? I don't want to do anything here. I'm gonna quit. I want to edit the bulletins. So the bulletins are the forums, right? So we're gonna create a bulletin here, and we're gonna tell it where the bulletin exists. Because remember, you could have multiple drives here, and you can have them attached to. You can have bulletins existing on different floppy disks. So, yeah. Okay, number one. So add a board. We're going to call it AWS because why not? Device is going to be 8. Is that it? Is that how our friend did it? Yes. Okay. Device 8, drive 0. I don't know what this is, A&M, but they put yes. Okay. Save boards. Okay. Now it's going to write the boards onto the disks. Beautiful. Awesome. Quit. Now, I'm gonna create the help menus. This is also important because by default there is no help on the BBS. Like your user wouldn't know what to do. So to be able to help them to know what commands to run, you need to write to the help files to the BBS. This wasn't mandatory back then because remember, this is gonna take up disk space on our floppy disk. So if your BBS was kind of pretty obvious to people, they would just be able to know how to use it. But if you are like me and have not used BBSs so extensively in your life, you may not know. Okay, and if I go here, like for example, directory, it will show us all of the directories, all of the files on that BBS disk. See, we have the start file, the last file, new user, info, we have the boards file, and you'll see there should be a bunch of help files now. Help 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. We are ready to do our systems. So now there's a couple things we need to do. We need to restart our system. We're going to just soft reset it or just reset the CPU. Boom. And now this is where the magic happens. Now we need to go ahead and set up, because how will this emulator work? How will this emulator talk to the internet? Right? There's it doesn't have a thing, right? There's no modem attached to it. So we need to give it a modem. And to give it a modem, we're going to be using a tool called TCP SRE. So this thing, right? It's a serial to IP modem emulator. TCP, sir. I'm going to put this thing here and then share it to the folks like that. We're going to be using this, and this is something we're going to be installing on Linux. So I'm going to connect to my little Linux box here, and we are going to be doing that there. So opening up my Linux box here, my Windows terminal, and I am connected to my dev box. Now, I'm going to create a little thing here called workspace. Let's do projects. Let's do mkdir Commodore C64 BBS. Now, there's nothing you need to do here specifically. You just need to run the TCP-ser file, TCP-ser command. However, I do have. Let's go ahead and let's create a script called start. Close that. Bin sh, and I'm gonna go ahead and open up a file because I do have the script written somewhere, because there it is. Okay, boom. So I'm gonna explain what this thing is. So this is gonna run TCP-ser on port, basically this port 25232. It's gonna have the speed of 300 baud. We need to have it at 300 baud, otherwise this doesn't work. It's going to have a log level of 7. This is something else. So Adam explained this. TSSS it's a trace. Okay, it's a trace both modem input and modem output. Just kind of making sure we get stuff on the screen as well. This is the, I think, -IK0. This is the initialization string, ATK0. So this should basically be like ATK0. And then this finally is going to be the port that this thing is going to be listening on. So it means we can connect to this thing using port 6400 to connect to it from a distant machine. And these are just some no answer files and whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay. chmod +x start, and then I'm going to start. Okay, so it is waiting now. There's nothing happening right now. and that's okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to configure our modem to our Commodore 64 to do things. So let me reduce the screen size slightly, like that. I want us to be able to see stuff happening in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna edit the configuration of this emulator. So I'll move it up here, and we're gonna be changing, not network. There is the machine settings, and we're gonna change the RS-232 settings. First of all, we're gonna emulate the user port RS-232. Boom. Host device is going to be serial 1, and the baud rate is going to be 300. It is important that we set this thing to 300. Awesome. Now, let's configure device settings. So, device setting is going to be not COM1, but it's going to be the IP address of the TCP server, right? So, it's going to be 10.0.0.1, like that. And I have to do 25.232. So basically, where is my modem? Is not local on my machine. It's not a device. It is somewhere else. So, like that. And the baud rate is going to be 300. And we're going to be using the IP232 protocol. And that should be it. This is what we should be doing. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to save the settings here. Okay. And let's load everything from disk 9. Let's see what happens here. List. Glorious. Okay. Now let's load the BBS. GST BBS main. Note there's a space in the first character. So there's a blank space. You need to enter that blank space. So searching, loading. The wonderful loading. And I wish, Flexion, I wish there were loading noises. I really wish there was like a big old floppy disk loading noise. So also, this brings me to a point. Let's talk about Commodore 64 and its floppy disks. Not floppy disks, floppy devices. They were insanely slow. Insanely slow. Like, loading files off a floppy disk was just so bad. The reason it was is because, as far as I recall, the way they built the floppy drives, they did it kind of last moment, and there was a bug in it. They couldn't fix it in time. And what ended up happening is the floppy drive for a Commodore 64, the actual physical floppy drive, is literally a Commodore 64 inside. And they just talk to each other. So it is not the fastest of things. So loading data off of floppies was insanely slow. And that's why in the later versions of drives, you have updated stuff. And also people have made something called Jiffy DOS. Jiffy DOS gives you really fast read and write speeds. However, you would have to set up Jiffy DOS on both devices. So both the Commodore 64 and the floppy drive. And the way people used to do this is by in-place upgrades of like ROM chips. So, and that would make this way faster, but it's okay. We don't care about speed here at all because we are dealing with 300 baud. So no matter how fast our floppy drives are, they're faster than 300 baud. So yeah, it's fine. It's gonna be okay. So as soon as we run this, we should have something happening on this screen. Something should be hopefully going there. So we will see, we will give it a minute and see what happens. But yeah, loading files. As you can see here, the GST BBS main is 202 blocks, whatever that means, right? So it's by far bigger. It's almost doubled, more than doubled, almost triple the size of the edit file. So it takes a longer time to load. And now run. Let's see. Insert disks and hit any key. Look at that. See, stuff is happening. Okay, look at that. Okay, there's things happening, going on. So it is talking to the modem. So the modem is actually, well, our Commodore 64 emulated is talking to the modem, which is really good. We should get some stuff on the screen. Awesome. Look at that. Yes. Good. Good. We have a BBS running. Now there's nothing there. It says it's waiting for a call. So we need to go and call the BBS. So let's figure this out. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna switch to that thing over there. So give me a second. I also need to figure out how to do this in a way you can still hear me. So I'm gonna move my screen here, and I'm gonna restart my Commodore 64. So boom. Let me see what is a good approach for this. Can you still hear me okay? I would imagine that's fine. I'm going to be speaking sort of indirectly to the computer, just so you know. So we need to connect to the system, right? And the way we're going to do this is this Commodore 64 is special. It has a little Wi-Fi dongle in it. So it has a modem, but not the modem. It's a thing that emulates a modem, but actually uses Wi-Fi to connect to Wi-Fi. So we're going to be using that to connect to Wi-Fi, and then we're going to be connecting to this thing using TCP, which is just glorious. So let me switch to this. Okay. So if you remember, load the. I have also a floppy disk emulator here, like one of those little SD cards to IEC. So if I do list, you will see a bunch of programs here, which is good. But I'm gonna do, I forgot what the name is. I forgot what the name of the software was. One second, list. It is file browser. Okay, load file browser. Remember, this is all running on an actual computer. This is not fake. It's not VM. It's an actual Commodore 64 from 1980, whatever. So, and it's running on a monitor from 1984. So, okay, so this is a file browser. The file browser allows me to just like load programs. Now, I have something here for Wi-Fi. I need to see. I need to see which one should I run. I used to run NovaTerm, but this should also be fine. So these are just terminal applications, just terminal programs. Basically applications that allow you to connect to a BBS or interact with your modem or whatnot. So in this case, I'm going to use CCGMS2, and I think that should work. I've done this through like just a virtual machine or just a normal Linux CG term type of thing, but I want to do it through a Commodore. So I haven't done it yet through this. So please bear with me as we discover the glorious life of Commodore 64s. And as you can see, it still loads for a long, long time, if it even loads. Okay, something's happening. CCGMS by Craig Smith. As you can see, it is a newer version, so 2017. So this is a newer version thing. So we need to see if we can do something. ATI. So we need to configure this, if I recall correctly. So F8. This is an ask. I don't want this. I want to do the graphics one. I do not remember how to do anything on this one. It doesn't see my thing here. How do you do? I would say dialer params like that. Okay. Yes. Okay. Baud rate 300. Okay, modem type is a user port modem. That's okay. Baud rate 300. And then that's it. Save. Let's see if this works. Okay. Well, I forgot there's no escape on the Commodore 64. I guess that's it, right? If I do F1. F7, quit, return, ATI. No, that's not it. So this is just a dialer parameters. There must be a, okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna use Novaterm. Novaterm is something I used to use in the past. So I think, hopefully, with a bit of luck, load file browser, not 9, 8. And let's load something else. We can do Novaterm. Novaterm is a bit bigger than usual. So if I go to Wi-Fi, Novaterm, there it is. Novaterm works also on a Commodore 64, so that should be perfectly fine. Oh, thank you so much, Flexion. Okay, let me try to connect to. I will use this thing to connect to your BBS. So give me a second. As soon as I figure out how to, well, open up Novaterm. So for those folks in chat, Flexion just sent me his BBS address. So yeah. It is taking a while. And look at that, Seattle, Washington, Aurora Avenue. If there's anybody in the chat from Seattle and knows what Aurora Avenue is, give me a shout. Aurora Avenue is a special Aurora Avenue in Seattle. But you can see 1997. So this thing was actually maintained for a long time. Long time after Commodore actually stopped to exist as a company, and also long time after anybody actually used Commodore 64s, unless it was me. I was using a Commodore 64 until 2001. So yeah. But not because I thought it was the best computer in the world, but because I didn't have anything else. But now I do think it's one of the best computers in the world. So yes, all kinds of things. Oh my god, I got so much people liking the post. I think people like to see the Commodore 64. That is always great. Oh my god. Okay, it's loading stuff. Things are changing. And people in the chat, if you've ever used the Commodore 64, do shout out. So it's loading fonts, so loading a bunch of different files. So let me switch to this thing. So Commodore 64 has only 40 characters. So it's a 40 character wide terminal. So that is one of the requirements. It's not like a Commodore 128 can do 80 column, but Commodore 64 can only do 40. So okay, let's go to this. Okay. See, I need to configure this thing because the baud rate. Actually, let me see. I wanna switch to the terminal mode. The problem with this thing is, like, if you go into terminal mode and ATI, okay, cool, it's connected, awesome. So you see, it's connected to Wi-Fi, which is just great. Beautiful. Now, technically, I could connect to your system right now, right? Is that the case? So I will do ATDT, attention dial tone. That's what ATDT looks like. So I will do BBS. BBS. I don't know if I have to do it connected like that, but let's do it like BBS Flex. Can I show you your URL publicly? Oh yeah, I can. You shared it publicly. Yes. Flexion IO, and then it is 777. Okay, it's connected. 24 baud. It's gonna look horrible. Graphics mode. I'm gonna do 0, no color. Username. Oh, do I need a username? Oh, okay. Welcome to Flexion Silicon Graphics BBS. Look at you. The account and if you create an account, answer yes. New account application. Enter your alias handle. Darko. Actually, can I don't know if it's got. How did you hear from this BBS? Flexion. I can't even delete. Jesus. Okay. Can I cursor left? Can. Flex. Flexoy on. Account password. Okay, so let me. How can I do this? I can switch to my face, and then you cannot see my password. So, oh, it's okay. It's echoing it out, so that's good. A lot of old BBSs don't do that. So your account application has been completed. If you made mistakes and you wish to create an account, you by ban the if your new account application has been completed. If you made mistakes or you do not wish to create an account, you may abandon your application now and disconnect. Please select an option. I will do create an account. Flexion, you don't have to go and approve this. I'm just having fun. So, but it is really cool. So it is always cool, kind of connect to somebody else's system like this. But wait, we are going to connect to our own system, so we're not done yet. And it is taking its sweet time, I think. But yeah, it is fascinating to see that at the machine from that's how old is the Commodore 64? A machine that's like 35 years old, no more, 40 years old now, 40 years old, even more than 40 years old, can still access the internet. Well, the internet. But yeah, is that it? If I do enter, yeah, I guess. And I know, I guess Flexion, it's this system was not made for the Commodore 64, and I fully get that. It just doesn't look really nice. I bet it looks way nicer on an actual ANSI looking terminal with 80 columns and all that fun stuff. So I fully get that. So let me see. How can I exit this? I always forget. The thing about these programs is that you okay, no carrier. Okay, good. ATI. Okay. So now I have to go ahead and connect to my BBS. Now, ATDT 10.0.1.11 6400. It is connected to 2400 baud. Okay. I also found out a challenge here. So here's the thing. You have to go to this thing, and you have to press F1 for chat, so F2 for local, and then I think, and then that. Let me switch back to the other computer. Let's see, why don't you work? Okay, sysop breaking in. You see some stuff happening. Let's go back to the traditional thing. Okay, chat, new user, enter new. Okay, awesome. Aha, new. Look at us connecting to the BBS. And if you see here, I'm gonna switch back to the other thing. Where is it? So the desktop here, you will see we're in the new user thing here. Something's happening. This is somebody who's connected. That's what's happening right now. So if I go here and switch to this and enter your alias, actually check it out. I'm gonna switch. Look at this thing here, the thing on the top. So under GST, there's like an in thing. It will show all the characters coming into the BBS in real time. So I'm gonna be typing Darko. So look at that. And see all of the stuff happening on the right hand side, the little modem. So I'm gonna do the password. We're gonna do a super powerful password called Darko123. Let me put it into full screen. Actually, no, I can't even put you this thing. I can do this. Wait. check it out. So, and it's going to receive my password in whole. So, right? Then Darko Mesaros. It's a Commodore 64. Let me switch to this. My phone number. Oh God. My phone number is 555 102 1234. Enter your location. Seattle. Wow. Enter your age. 36. Where did you get this BBS number? The internet. Look at this. And again, it's all happening. It's also all happening on this side. Check it out. Check it out. It's all printing out stuff. Oh, glorious. Glorious. Oh, big fan. Big fan of it. Is this okay? Yes. Adding user. Haha. Backing to this. Look at that. Adding user. Oh. Flexia, now you had somebody connecting from a C64. There you go. I may try to connect through a 128 as well later on, so that could be a cool thing. My Alexa just said something. Look at that. Login ID 1, password, Darko123. Beautiful. So going back to the computer, right? It told me this. I'm ready to log in. I'm going to say 1. Actually, I can't even delete. So this has something to do with my terminal, so I need to configure that terminal because you can see it has completely confused the uppercase and lowercase. So let's see if this is going to work. Online is Darko. You are caller number 1. Last caller was da-da-da. As you can see, multiple people would call and do like weird things. This is the news file. There are no news. So if I hit shift and question mark, we should hopefully get a help menu. The main level help menu. Beautiful. Although I'm definitely I'm gonna have to do some changes to the terminal here because this isn't good. So yeah, see, it's like it doesn't really look good. So bear with me. I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna close, restart. We're gonna have to do some waiting again because this is a Commodore 64. Load file. We're gonna try to go and do Novaterm once again, but we'll get to that. Run. I wonder, should I try CCGMS again? CCGMS is really good. But Novaterm just works, so yeah. Okay, I'll let this thing load. While this is happening, I wanna go here and look at this thing. So as you can see here, I can actually interact with this system here, right? I can do, I can type a question mark and do that, right? And it's weird, like so this would be the life of a sysop. So I own a BBS like Flexion does as well, and I would see all the people connecting to my BBS in real time and what they're doing. So this would be on my computer sitting next to me, and I would be able to see all of these fancy things. I don't know what happened right now. Did my BBS just croak? Nope, there it is. So it is waiting for a call. But you can enable like local mode and just log in, I guess. Darko, oops, nope. Beautiful. See, half time for immediate relog on, because I've logged on immediately after the first call. It gives me half of the connectivity time. Now, as a sysop, I can increase this time, so you can see minutes minus 30, right? That's how many minutes I have on the system. But as a sysop, I can come here and press F7 and just do boop, 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 boop. If I press enter again, 40 minutes. Look at that. I ran my first BBS on an OS2, but running a BBS on 6, exactly. Yeah, no hard disk, just floppy. Yeah, that's how it used to be. Like literally, people would just have a bunch of floppy disks running off of these things. So yeah, it is interesting. And like again, you can do a bunch of configuration. Like you can have uploads and downloads like on different floppy disks. You can create programs on different floppy disks. It is a really, really cool thing. So going back to this thing, as you can see, it is loaded. So let's let's do some configuration here. So, what kind of a terminal we can? We can do Commodore. Let's do ANSI. Can we do ANSI? Okay. 2400 baud, that's okay. This is all okay. Let's go ahead and save configuration. Yes. F1 to quit. Let's go to terminal mode. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Ooh, that doesn't look good. How do you... Okay, yes. This, okay. We need to change the terminal emulation to something else. Okay. This to that. We're gonna switch to Commodore. So it tries to do like an 80 column mode, which is just, that doesn't work. So standard 40. So this is gonna be a standard 40 column mode. This should be better, right? But I'm gonna actually go ahead and switch it to Commodore 64. That. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the help file. I want to see we can change the terminal to graphics. So I can do graphics ASCII mode. Okay, that's fine. What is it? Just A? ASCII graphics mode. Okay, we'll see. Okay, ATDT 10.0.1.11.6400. Okay, so it is connected. I'm going to disable local mode here. Boo. Give me a second. So what's happening here on this side is it's disconnecting. So it's going to probably reboot. Yep, there you go. It's going to restart. It takes a while. Okay, I think we are ready. If I go back to this thing here, I'm going to do ATDT, again, 10.1.1.11. So it is connected. So there's a couple of things I need to do here. I need to switch to F1. Is it F1? Okay. Okay, good. So we have stuff here. So we can do enter handle login ID. I need to see if we can change this thing to graphics mode. I don't like the way it emulates the terminal here. It's not really good. So is there a way to make this nicer? Is there a different protocol? Yeah, Z modem is fine. So the challenge I have here, like, see, it doesn't really look nice. See, it gets characters in a different way. I feel like that has to do with the either with the, I don't know if we can do we change the baud rate? Can we change the baud rate? Yeah, we can change the baud rate. Okay. Okay. Would this not work? Let's how do you hang up? Hang up. Okay. This. Okay. AT. I have to change the rate to 2400. Okay. ATDT. Okay, so this is still working, but I I can't for the life of me figure out how to make this a nicer terminal. Local echo, disk block free. There's definitely something to do with the way it kind of works, which makes sense, right? This is just okay. Darko. Okay, better. Oh, look at that. Yes. Haha. Look at that. Beautiful. Haha. Yes. The BBS is good. Okay, online is Darko. Your call number 3. Halftime for immediate relog on. I think it's going to be 15 minutes, right? No, 30 minutes. Okay, beautiful. Awesome. So we are connected. Again, question mark. We should get, see, it works now. It clears the screen. Beautiful. Yes. Do you all want some electronic mail? And again, looking at back at the desktop, check it out. Check out the thing on the side here. This thing. This is just like all of the data it starts sending out through the modem. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we can go to the bulletins. The bulletin level. There's nothing. We can press L, I think. Yeah, there are 1 boards available. 1 AWS. Awesome. So we're going to be connecting to the bulletin boards. So I don't know how to connect. I think you have to question mark. Yeah. The subboard level, post bulletin, read a bulletin, read a bulletin. Okay, let's do. Read a bulletin. No bulletins active. Okay, let's post a bulletin. Access denied. Okay, so this is also one thing we need to understand is that if you go here, Darko is a new user, right? So you have to give the user some permissions. To do that, you can do the following: F3. A validated user. Can a validated user post stuff? Let's see. P. We can. Haha. So from what I read in the times of yore, when you would connect to a bulletin board system and you need like permissions, you can either ask the sysop, send the sysop a message, and if the sysop happened to be next to the computer, they would be able to give you permissions. But it was a lot of those kind of manual things. You would phone a sysop, say, "Hi, I'm a BBS user. Could I get more minutes on your system, or could I please get some more access to post a bulletin?" It's just wonderful, wonderful. All of this manual stuff. So let's do a bulletin. Let's go and create some AWS. So for the folks out there, I work for AWS. Let's go ahead and add a little AWS news to this entire thing. So let's look at some AWS. What is the AWS service we can add? Like a little news AWS. I'm going to open it here. So switching to the desktop, AWS news blog. Let's do something really cool. What is the cool? Oh, these are very old. Look at December. Wow. Okay, newer posts. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna create a bunch of stuff from here, just like simple little weekly roundup, February 5th, 2024. So I'm gonna put it on the other screen here, and I'm gonna move to this one, so you see me typing. So let's do the title. Now the title is limited, I think, to 17 characters. So you have to be very conservative with what you are gonna write. So. 020524. We'll see. Okay. Do you wish to be anonymous? No. You have 50 lines of text. And that's also the thing. You can only add 50 lines of text per bulletin. I feel like this could be also changed. And remember, lines are not 40 characters, but they're something less. And I don't know what. So Let's do the following. Last week's launches. I'm going to make this a bit more comfortable for me. Enter. Number 1. Amazon Q data integration. And it's going to drop in the second line once it needs to do so. In AWS glue. See, goes down. So it's 40 columns. Okay, good. Dot. So these are already 4 lines, just so you know. CDK migrate is GA. What is it? There's something else. Amazon SDK for C64. That'll be amazing, right? What is it? Okay, so party rock. Now, what's fascinating about this thing is here, like this BBS itself is writing this thing over the command line. That's why it's kind of wonky. And if you see me, like, if I go and switch to the computer here, right, to the actual thing running the BBS, any key I press on my computer is there, like happens there. So it's happening all through the thing. So let's see. There are something. Okay, computer hackathon. See, if I hit enter, you will see, new line. And I do here, like, let's go, local recaps are live. And like I can't go back a line, right? I think I can't. Can I? No, I can't. So there's a way to do it. You can do /x, and this is going to give you some editor commands, right? You can ask it a question, so it's going to give you some editor commands because it has like a built-in editor, which is weird, but you can edit line. So I think you can do. Can I do? Let's see. Can I do edit the last line? Delete last word. Reprints your last line. So if I do Control R, save, list lines, right? This is going to list all the lines. Okay, see all the lines. I need to edit a line 6. But how can I? But I can't. Or do I just do that? Oh my god. Local. Okay. Now this should be okay, right? I know this is thrilling. I know this is just amazing watching a man just edit the BBS on a Commodore 64. But I know. So I could just do S, right? No, just oh my god, what is how do I exit the editor? The editor commands. So I can just do K. Okay. Okay. Remember, this is 300 baud. The way it's kind of jerky like this, it's because my thing here runs at 2400 baud. So if I would switch my modem to be at 300 baud, it would be nice and smooth. But yeah, this is really back to basics. Absolutely. So continue message. Okay. So last thing, an empty line. For more news, contact your AWS sysop. Boom. saving bulletin. And remember, this is now writing it to the floppy disk. So can you please focus on this? There we go. Okay. There are 1 new bulletins. So if I list 1 boards available, can I do... I forget what the command is. Flexion, we used to be a lot more patient in the past, don't you think? We used to have a lot more patience. R, read 1. Message number 1, subject weekly roundup. From Darko. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. I love it. So we have reached the internet through the Commodore 64, which is just glorious. So I need to take a picture of this because this is really cool. Give me all just a second. I need to try to take a nice picture. Boom. I love it. I love it. So, Flexion, I think like one of the things that we should do here now, well, not now, but in the future, because why not, is have the AWS SDK documentation on a BBS, right? So if you need to access your SDK documentation or AWS CLI configuration or maybe even CDK or whatnot, we should just have a BBS for it, right? So you can just phone in, chat to your sysop, and ask them. Let's actually try to chat to the sysop. So there's a command here we can run. I wonder how that works. Now, this BBS system is very, very simple. There's a lot of better ones out there, but I have not managed. I haven't even tried them. So, come on, focus here. Focus. Focus. Okay, so chat with the sysop. So if I do C, enter reason for chatting. What do we want? I feel like that's a paging sysop. Okay, so in my I can hear the pings of the Commodore 64 emulator, right? So paging sysop. So my Commodore 64 emulator now pinged me. You can see, look at the chat thing. There's a chat incoming, right? And then as a sysop, I would come here and hit F1. Sysop breaking in, and like if you see here, it says sysop breaking in. Now I'm gonna type a message here on the emulator. What is the issue? And then on the other side, so I did that on here, right? So on the other side, I'm gonna come here. Can I get sys? And then the sysop would come and say, sure, boy, sure. Why not? And then the sysop can come here and do, what is it, F3 co-sysop. Now, Darko, the person on this side, is a co-sysop. Now, they don't know that. Like, there's no way for them to see anything, right? But that's it. So the sysop can end the chat. So as a sysop, I can just stop the chat. Chat mode is engaged, and that's it. I can go ahead and do stuff. so yeah, that was a thing in the past, I guess. Like you could just kind of bother your sysop about things. Come on, zoom in. There you go. You can bother your sysop about things when you need things. Imagine if that. I mean, we do have like those little pop-up things. Imagine if this was the thing right now, where your websites, you just somebody would just page you, and so let's actually have a look at how the paging works. So. Pay attention. So you can't hear this, but I can. Actually, let me see if I can do this. So if I go, I want to turn off my audio. I want to enable desktop audio. So let's see. So I'm going to page the sysop. I'm gonna page the sysop. I don't know. I don't know what how does that work, but I forgot. I think it's B, right? Yeah. No, not B. It's we'll see. But you should actually be able to hear the sound coming from this thing. I've enabled desktop audio now on OBS. So yes, C. So if I press C on this side, hit enter. Oh, reason. Let's see what happens. Did you hear the pings? Yeah. Amazing. And the chat thing is here, just kind of glowing crazily. I love it. I love it. I don't know what to say. It's just amazing. So let me just enter chat and say, not now. And again, while I'm typing this, the user sees it in real time, not now. No, not now. Yeah, amazing, amazing, amazing. I don't know. I think this was really cool. I think in the future I need to. So here's the thing I need to do. I would need to. There's two ways to go about this. I would need to have my my Commodore 64 here. I would need to have another of one of those little devices, right? Little modems. And then I can actually have two Commodore 64s talking to each other through the Wi-Fi thing through a BBS. So maybe that's a future stream we can do where we can have fun with those kind of things. But yeah, it is a fun thing. So I don't know what to say. It was a very exciting live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Flexion, thank you so much for being part of this. It's always great to see you. I've been live streaming these days on late time, so like not really cool moments on like for you or for folks in North America. I would stream like at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is usually my audience would be from Australia. So yeah, it's not really that convenient for you, but yeah, let me do one more thing. Let's go back to this thing. I want to see what else do we have on this little disk. I want to see what kind of applications we have on the little SD card. I think I have a couple of things I created a couple of years ago. So a couple of years ago, I used this computer as like a backdrop for my live streams, and I would create little graphics for them to show graphics on the stuff. Z modem download, yeah, Z modem, and then Kermit, right? The Kermit was a thing, and a few other things, yeah. Okay, so I have. All right, so what is this? So these are programs. This is a document. This is programs, Twitch, app config, tape, share, bucket. I think this was an S3 bucket. When I say an S3 bucket, it was a graphic. I think it was the Commodorized logo of Amazon S3. So I use some applications that would convert a JPEG or a PNG to a Commodore sprite or a Commodore kind of a visual. So this should, once it loads, because it is big. So even though it's loading from an SD card, it's still loading at normal disk drive speeds. So yeah. But that's kind of how it works. But Flexion, you never used the Commodore 64, right? You've I know you're in the computing world longer than me, but you've never used the Commodore 64, right? Like as a daily driver. The reason I'm asking is that most of us in Europe did not use floppy disks because they were so expensive. Most of us actually loaded applications not from floppy disks, but from tape. Yeah. Okay. So I have an SX64. I also have an SX64. So oh my God, that would be a really cool thing. I have an SX64 downstairs. The keyboard is a bit busted, so I need to figure out the keyboard, but I have an SX64. It would be really cool to connect to this thing using an SX64. What do you think? You still have it? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. My keyboard is problematic. Some of the keys don't really work, and I know it's a huge pain to fix it. You have to completely like disassemble it. It's a very destructive process. So I'm not really sure how to do that. Yeah. So I want to do it. I want to fix it, but everything else works really good. But it's a bit nasty. So. Okay, still loading. As you can see, even though it's a small program, there's not a lot to it. It is still loading insanely slow. You can do it. You can do it, my friend. And you can see it's emulating Drive 8. So yeah, come on, friend. Mine also needs to be fixed. Yeah. I bought mine. I paid decent money for it because it works really good. It works. I think the only problem is like all the keys work, but you have to really press on them. So they're like the contacts are not good. So cleaning the contacts wouldn't be too complicated. The challenge is you have to peel off the whole thing because I think it was like plastic molded into it or something like that. So it's like it's not an easy thing. So yeah, which is not always good. If it was like a standard switch, you can just remove the switch and reapply everything. But no, it has the little not rubber domes, but like just kind of little contact things. So it's not even like a proper mechanical switch like this one. So I don't know. One day I'll fix it. See how much more patience we had in the past? We had so much patience. Imagine if you had to wait this long to for anything to load these days. Oh god. I you don't see it here, but in the back. So that thing here, it's an Amiga 1000, and I used to use that Amiga. Well, I still use it, right? And but I would like load Settlers on it, the game, and it would take like I don't know how long to load Settlers. Just waiting there to see it load. Oh my god, that's just a pain. Yeah, yeah. The Amiga is great. I even have a little modem for it as well as Wi-Fi. The challenge for me on the Amiga is I couldn't really find, at least for the 1000, I really couldn't find a way to easily load software on it. I have a little disk emulator on it, but it was like not the disk emulator. I have a little what is it called? A little external adapter that can connect like a little, what is it called? What are those USB floppy disk emulators? So one of those, but I could never get it to load anything. It was super complicated. For some reason, it wouldn't load. I don't really know what's the deal there. So I need to spend a bit more time. But I have two Amiga 1000s, so and they both work really good. I know there's like a thing you can buy for the Amiga called Parceiro. I think Parceiro, is it Parceiro? Something like you can attach on the sidecar, so you have like a SD card and whatnot. But I have like an Amiga 600. And I have a Amiga 500 as well, so I guess those could work. Uh, and they're faster than this. But I must say, the best Commodore 64 is the Commodore 128, by far. Because the Commodore 128 can be a Commodore 64, 100%. It has a 100% emulation of a Commodore 64, and it's the best in that. And I have it here. You don't see it, but it's just here. So this thing here, this thing is a Commodore 128. So yeah. So it seems my bucket just won't load, or it is so insanely large, it just doesn't want to load. Well, that's what we get. In any case, it's been a pleasure. Flexion, thank you so much for joining. I will definitely connect to your BBS somehow. I'll potentially use a better terminal emulator or something like that instead of just using my lame old Commodore 64 one. I can do Commodore 128, and that has a better terminal emulator in 80 column mode, so we can do 80 columns and open up your BBS. But I will reach out to you to talk about how did you set up the BBS, because again, I want to run a BBS as well for like the shits and giggles. So I may ask you if it's just Mystic. I feel like that could run on Linux, or in your case, an SGI, but that would be a really cool thing. So let me just pull it up on the side here. So it's called something called Mystic BBS, right? This. Okay. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. I can't believe this is still running. I love it. Again, I want to make sure that this thing works on a Commodore 64 as well. That's usually the challenge. But look at that. Look at the ANSI. Oh man. Look at what we have lost. Okay, friends. Speaking of that, I'm gonna get lost right now. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you all next week with some more stuff here. I don't know if it's gonna be Commodore 64 shenanigans. Oh, see, it has failed. It couldn't read the file. So if you see a little blinky light here, yeah. So it has actually had an issue in reading the file. So that's why it failed. So it's not the program. It's my little disk system. So awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good day, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.